badly is the Emperor's body damaged? For 10,000 years, the Emperor of mankind has sat immobile on the Golden Throne of Terra, a silent, unmoving god at the heart of a vast and decaying empire. To the trillions of citizens across the Imperium, he is the master of mankind, the God Emperor, a divine being whose holy light guides humanity through the darkness. Yet behind the veil of faith and millennia of dogma lies a far grimmer reality. The figure of the throne is not a radiant god in serene contemplation, but the shattered remnant of a man, enduring a state of living death that defies comprehension. To truly understand the state of the Imperium in the 41st millennium, one must first confront the harrowing extent of the damage inflicted upon its founder's body. The origin of this cataclysmic state lies in the final desperate hours of the Horus heresy. Aboard the flagship of the arch-traitor Horus Lupercal, the vengeful spirit, the Emperor confronted his favoured son, now being swollen with power from all four Chaos gods. The ensuing duel was a battle on every conceivable plane of existence, physical, psychic and spiritual. The Emperor, holding back his full power in hope of redeeming his son, suffered wounds that would have annihilated any lesser being a million times over. Horus, armed with the Worldbreaker mace and the lightning-clawed talon of Horus, did not merely seek to kill his father, he sought to unmake him. The blows that landed were imbued with raw nihilistic energy of the warp, designed to shred not just flesh and bone, but his very soul. When the Emperor finally unleashed his psychic might, obliterating Horus utterly, it was too late for his own mortal form. He was left mortally wounded, his body broken, burned and psychically scoured. The official accounts, sanitized for imperial consumption, speak of a heroic sacrifice. The deeper lore hints at a more gruesome picture: an arm torn for its socket, his back broken, his organs pulped, and his entire being set aflame with ethereal corrupting energy. It was in this state, clinging to life by the sheer indomitable force of his will, that he was carried from the battle barge by the Primarch Rogue of Dawn and rushed to the one device that might sustain him, the Golden Throne. Originally intended as the central nexus of the Emperor's ambitious webway project, the Golden Throne was a marvel of forgotten technology. It was repurposed in a moment of ultimate desperation to become the most complex and horrifying life support system ever conceived. Interred within its arcane machinery, the Emperor's broken body became the central component in its hideous symbiosis. An intricate web of cables, nutrient feeds, biomonitors, and psychoconductive conduits were fused directly into what remained of his flesh and nervous system. For millennia, this grotesque apparatus has performed a dual function. Firstly, it sustains the Emperor's biological functions at the most minimal level. His body, for all practical purposes, a corpse. It is a desiccated, mummified husk, barely recognizable as human, let alone the radiant figure depicted in Imperial art. His frame is skeletal, locked in a permanent rigor mortis, with thin parchment-like skin stretched out taut over bone. It is a body kept in a state of perpetual arrested decay. The Adeptus Mechanicus, in their role as holy custodians of the throne, perform constant microscopic rituals of maintenance, replacing failing cellular matter and shoring up the fragile biological systems with cybernetic augmentation. They are not healing a patient, they are maintaining a relic, ensuring the physical anchor of the Emperor's psychic consciousness does not finally crumble to dust. The physical damage, however, is arguably the lesser part of his suffering. The true horror lies in the state of his mind and soul. The Emperor is not in a coma. His consciousness, though shattered into countless warring fragments by Horus's psychic assault, is preternaturally active. He is engaged in a constant multi-front war within the Imperium. One part of his consciousness projects the Astronomicon, the psychic beacon that allows interstellar travel across the galaxy. Another part actively battles the demonic entities of the Chaos Gods, preventing them from manifesting through the psychic breach beneath the Imperial Palace that the Emperor's Webway project created. He holds back the tide of damnation with sheer focused will, a task of such monumental scale that would vaporize the minds of a billion psychers. The return of the Primarch Rebute Guilliman in the era Indomitus provided the first truly reliable eyewitness account of the Emperor's state in millennia. Allowed an audience, Guilliman did not find the father he knew. Instead, he was confronted by a wave of overwhelming psychic power and incalculable pain. He perceived a withered, skeletal thing enmeshed in golden machinery, a silent effigy from which a psychic voice of immense cold power spoke into his mind. There was no warmth, no parental recognition, only the cold, hard calculus of a being stretched to the absolute limits of endurance. The psychic conversation was agonizing for Guilliman, a torrent of images and commands delivered with the force of a psychic tempest. The encounter confirmed what sits on the throne is not a sleeping king waiting to awaken, but a tormented entity fighting for humanity's survival on a level mortals cannot begin to imagine, using its ruined body as a mere focal point. This leads to the ultimate paradox of the Emperor's condition. The very machine that keeps him alive is what prevents him from healing. The Emperor is a perpetual, a rare kind of human with the innate ability to regenerate from any wound, including death itself. Had he been allowed to die after his battle with Horus, it is theorized that he would have eventually regenerated, reborn and renewed. However, his internment on the Golden Throne trapped him in a liminal state between life and death. To let his body expire would also to be extinguish the light of the Astronomicon and unleash demonic holds under Terra. The Imperium would collapse overnight. Therefore, he must be kept in this state of perpetual agony, his natural regenerative abilities stymied by the very life support that preserves his function at the Imperium's linchpin. The Golden Throne is both his salvation and his eternal prison. In conclusion, the damage to the Emperor's body is absolute. It is a ruin, a relic preserved only by the most advanced technology and ritual. But this physical decay is merely a symbol of a deeper, more profound wound. His soul is shattered, his mind a battlefield, and his very nature as a perpetual is denied by the necessities of his sacrifice. The withered corpse under the Golden Throne is the ultimate testament to the grim reality of the 41st millennium, a state of existence where survival is bought at the cost of endless suffering, and the saviour of humanity is also the most tragic prisoner. This archive has now been fully decoded. Continue your journey into the librarian with the video displayed on screen. The vast wealth of the archives continues to reveal new knowledge of the dark history of the 40K verse. In the grim dark of the far future, there is only war.